Welcome back. So, have you figured out what car I want to buy next? I already gave you a hint in the last video. I told you that I care about the environment. So, what kind of car would I like to buy? Gasoline cars, they emit a lot of carbon dioxide, greenhouse gases. And if I care about the environment, I want to emit less of the greenhouse gases. So most likely, I would like to buy an electric car. So if you are a car salesperson and if you want to make a positive impression, you have to ask me a few questions and you have to figure out that I have traveled, I care about the environment, I am highly educated, I do read a lot of reports and things like that, and based on that you have to figure out that I will be looking for an electric car. If you figure out, then you are a good salesperson, okay? And that is what salesperson do. They ask a lot of questions so that they can convince they will figure out what particular product is suitable for the buyer that they are interacting with. So that's one important thing. So these are the type of things. What would you do? You have to think about it in the context of selling whatever you are selling. It could be shoes, sandals, or beds, or chairs, or lamps, lights, fans, whatever it is. But you have to ask yourself, who is this customer? What will they want? And how can I figure out? For that, you have to ask questions. And that is what we will be preparing as part of our homework, that is the pre-approach. Now, in addition to these information that we have already discussed here, I want you to understand that there are other types of things that you can collect information on. For instance, you have to collect some information on the company, and you also have to collect information on the company's customers. So what are they? For that, I would like to take you to the website itself, where we have our book. So this is our book, Powerful Selling. Let's go to chapter 8, where we talk about the pre-approach. And here you can read this, researching your prospect, going deeper, which we already talked about. And here is this picture that I just showed you. In addition, you can get a lot more information about the company. The demographics, that is, where are they located, how many people are working there, what type of income levels are, what is their annual revenue. You have to know those things. And if you are dealing with a B2C customer, then you need to know what is their education level, and whether they have a family or not. So you have to find those pieces of information. And if you are selling to a company, you can find some information about their company online. I already showed you how you can go to Google News and find something. And if you are selling to a company such as Starbucks, or you are selling to the Worcester Brush company, you have to know their financial performance, how much profit they are able to make, what are their various sources of income, what are their costs. Maybe your product will help them reduce the cost. Maybe that is what you should focus on. So if you go to their financial statements, you may see that they are spending, say, maybe $5 million on obtaining color for their paint in Worcester Brush company. And you may want to feel like, instead of $5 million, maybe I can sell it to them for only $4.5 million, because you have a special source somewhere in China, somewhere in India. So knowing those things, you will be able to find lots of information through various sources, and financial accounting statements are also some useful piece of things. Now, when it comes to the company's customers, you have to find out who the people that are buying from the company that you are selling to. For instance, you are selling, let us say, your tractor to a farmer. Now the farmer, what is he doing? He is producing a lot of vegetables, and he is going to be selling the vegetables to some people, maybe restaurants, right? So if you are planning to sell your tractor to the farmer is selling to the restaurants, you need to know about the restaurants. I know that restaurants are not going to buy your tractor, but still you need to know about the restaurants, because any problem that you can solve for the restaurants, or the farmer can solve for the restaurants by using your tractor, that is what the farmer needs to hear, so that you can sell the tractor to the farmer. Okay, so you have to know more about your customer. The size of the customer base, whether the farmer is selling to only 2 or 3 major chains such as say the Olive Garden or Subway, or they are selling to a lot of small restaurants. What is the size of their customer base? Is it hundreds, or is it just 4 or 5 major restaurants that they are selling to, and what those customers are saying about your prospect. For instance, what do those restaurants that buy the green leafy vegetables from the farmer say about the farmer? Yes, the farmer is supplying these lettuce and organic vegetables. Are they having good value, good thinking, and good things to say about the farmer? That is something that you need to ask yourself. Similarly, you also have to know what is their current buying situation. Is it like a straight rebuy that you can see here, or modified rebuy, or a strategic alliance? Are they going to buy multiple times? Have they already bought before, or is this the first purchase? Are they moving from a competitor? You need to know all these things, which is what we call the type of purchase. And there are lots of interesting examples that are given here, how Frontier Airlines partners with Pepsi. So you need to know these kind of things if you want to make a very positive impression on the customer. Okay, and also who is the current competitor, current provider for that particular product. If you know that, then you can easily compare your product with that of say the competitor's product. If you are representing John Deere, then you can easily say how your product is different from say Mahindra company that's in India, or maybe Case IH, and various types of competitors products. What is the current pricing? How much are they paying right now, and how you can offer a different amount? So you can find that kind of information as well. So I strongly encourage you to go and read section 8.1, where they have given very detailed information on how to research your prospect. Okay, and there are lots of examples given here as well. So please do read them so that you will know how you will be able to make a positive impression. Now, within the company, you have one particular contact person, right? I already told you there is a David or a Mike or a Matt or a Urmila or somebody else. Okay, so you have to know what is their name and what is their title. Are they manager or say C-level executives, like a chief executives, and what is the type of role for them in their company? Are they the decision makers? Are they just the users, or do they cut the check? You have to know. Similarly, what is their professional background? Where did they go to school? Do they have a management degree? Do they have a technical degree in engineering? Do they have a scientific degree? Do they have a PhD? You have to know all those type of information, which is what we call professional background. Personal information: where do they live? What do they care about? And things like that. And this is where you don't want to get too picky about it, because then it may sound in a bad manner. And essential problems your contact needs to solve. Let us say your manager that you are trying to sell to, they are having problems with the software that they are using. It frequently crashes down. And in case if you are selling software and your software doesn't crash down that much, you need to know that they are having this issue in their company. Now, obviously, software crashing is not widely known. They may not reveal it to you as a salesperson, but you have to figure out. So that is the type of problem that we are talking about here. Okay, you have to know what problems the customers are facing so that you can solve them. And why are they in the market? What is the motivation for buying? For instance, the last time when I went to buy a car, I told the guy openly, hey, you know what, I don't want a gas car, or I don't want to buy a regular car, I want to buy a hybrid car. Why? Because my motivation is to kind of show that I care about the environment, right? So as a salesperson, you need to know all these things about your buyer so that you can make a very positive impression. And also you can find some other details about your existing customers. Can you sell more to the same customer? Opportunities to expand the relationship. And also opportunities for synergy. Maybe they buy from you and you also buy something from them. Or two different people, and say customer A can sell something to customer B. Customer B can buy something, sell something to customer A, and you are able to create some positive reinforcement between two customers, and they both are happy with your involvement. So that is what we call synergy. Okay. Sources of information. Now, where do you get all these pieces of information? Obviously, you can find them on online searches, or you can find them in business directories. I already told you in the last chapter. publicly available contracts. For instance, there was one biodiesel plant in Michigan. And as I was interested in biodiesel, I was doing some internet search. I went to EPA website, that is the Environmental Protection Agency website in Michigan, and I was able to find about 200-page document of what is the way how they will be taking care of the environment in their plant location. When I went through the document, I was able to find a lot of information: what type of chemicals they use, what type of effluents will come out, how they will take care of it. Everything was detailed, was available for detailed manner in that particular website, and I really enjoyed reading that. So there are lots of publicly available information that you can learn from. Trade journals, that is, you can figure out advertisements, or you can read about it, who are the important people. Blogs, social networks, and online forums. Blogs are for experts, right? Because if you are an expert, then you are likely to write more about it, and you will learn a lot more about what is going on in the customer's network. For instance, if you want to know what is happening in Google or Apple, you just go to Google's blog or Apple's blog. Social networks and online forums, and professional organizations. So if you are a member of Ohio Farm Bureau or the Agribusiness Association in Ohio, there are other members that you can interact with so that you will get that piece of information as well. So these are the various ways how you will be able to collect information, and these are the various sources of information, and you can find all of them in various ways, and you have to do that if you are doing homework. Okay, so that is one of the most important things that I want to emphasize in this particular section 8.1. So I told you about Google's blog, right? So why not we just go there and then try to find blog Google, and there you can see. So this is blog Google, and you can read a lot about what is important for Google here. So if you are going to sell some product to Google, maybe you have to educate yourself on all these different things so that you will be able to make a positive impression. Okay, so these are all the things that I would like you to think about when it comes to doing the research on your customers. So that's this one. Now, I did not fill out all the Word document things, but you can easily fill them out based on the chapter that I just showed you. So we have come all the way up to this. Okay, so that is the most important thing. As you can see here, if you do the right homework, then you will be able to save a lot of time when it comes to making the sale. As Abraham Lincoln mentioned once, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So sharpening the axe is like doing your homework. Okay, so please do the homework if you want to be successful as a salesperson, and that is why I'm showing this as the power of doing your homework, and you can see that an axe is being sharpened. So I will see you in the next video clip where we will talk more about other aspects of doing your homework.